I really need to invest in a tripod. This is a gasoline version of the 8.8 PSI engine. Ow. Thank you very much. This is the gas fuel rail. I think there's a part number on it. I gotta look here. There it is. The 8,000 number. I know that much because all their stuff is 8,000. And it's returnless, so if you have to have a return, you got to run a regulator. I've been meaning to contact them about their injectors. But they're... What the hell is it? There we go. EV1 connectors. That's this. A lot of the aftermarket. Early GM used these. A lot of the aftermarket use them. Ford uses them. That's EV1. One thing bad about these is Steve Morris just did a video about how these don't go on sometimes, and then you have a dead hole or a lean hole. We also saw when we used to put these in Vipers, the tension over time. We would twist the flat part of the injector piece to tighten it up. Anyways, but that's what the injectors they use. I don't know the flow rate of them. I've tried to get someone to read the PCM. The PCM that I have is a special PCM MT88. GM has used it on some of their Ecotech swaps. And PSI uses it for their medium duty truck stuff. But HP tuners doesn't support it. So, but this should be a 1X. And I don't know if it's a 24X engine or a 58X engine. So the easiest way to tell, and I'll show you the cranks in a minute. Let me get this bolt out. Is you pull the crank sensor. Oh, the bolt's loose. I must have been messing with this. And these come out pretty easy on these because these are the single O-ring sensor. Now, I don't know if there's a difference in the actual sensor besides the length. I don't know if it's a digital sensor versus an analog sensor. Unfortunately, I can't answer that. So you have to look down that hole. I'll get a light because I don't know if I can turn it. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can. That I can tell is a 58X sensor. And you're wondering, like, well, how do you know? Well, I'll show you. Put this crank sensor back in and plug the hole so I don't get shit in there. Okay. So there's two right next to each other. I guess I should have turned the light on. It's overcast here today, so kind of dim. At least it's not 100 freaking degrees. They're right next to each other. On the right is a 58X. It's the same on the LSs too. It's just the actual wheel is the wheel mounting area is smaller, so the reluctor is bigger. But that's a 58X. That's a 24X with all those weird, odd-shaped. So I can look at that and know that that's a 58X because all it is a 60 minus 2, which is what Ford calls it. And this is a 24 minus or 25 minus 1. And all that does is tell the crank, the PCM, where the crankshaft is at, because the crankshaft moves twice. Wait a minute. Yeah, the crankshaft moves twice to the camshaft moving once. So the cam will have a 1X sensor, and of course, I don't have one. I have one in the house, but I don't know where I put it. Well, there's pictures of it on Radar's page. If you're looking, ever look up the different cam sensor and different wheels. And then the 4X one is really weird. And I have not seen a PSI with a 4X. I guess that they don't use 4X. I'm not sure why. It might have been getting the 4X made. Because right now, the only one I know of is the GM one, which comes in some of the 8 liters. The 632 uses it now. 8 liter 632, and then that big block conversion kit they sell has the 4X. Now, all the stock GM stuff that uses 58X on the crankshaft uses 4X on the cam. But PSI uses 58X on the crankshaft and 1X on the cam, which is odd to me. But unfortunately, GM automotive PCMs don't have that set up. I am curious if a Holley will do it, but I don't know. And I had to contact Holley, and I don't feel like spending $2,000 on a Holley just to find out if Holley will do it. But that's the major difference. And then PSI sells these cheap, supposedly like $10 a piece. I don't know how much the 24X zone is. I actually have a PSI crank with a 24X on it as well, but I have a stack of them with the 58Xs. So, but that's that. Officially, if I was building a tow motor, I'd use stock 58 or the stock PSI heads and intake. But if you wanted to get away from fighting with fuel rails and everything else, you could use the stock 8.1 heads and intake. Only problem is stock, the dish pistons on the gas engines. Now, those are the only ones I've seen that come with dish pistons. I have not seen a gas engine with flat tops in it yet. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but I don't think that's why PSI sells it. All the flat top motors I've seen have been a version of propane, either a mixer or biphase. A mixer is the one that has the weird piece that goes on the end of the intake. And then if I zoom in here, let's see if I can zoom in. See, those are biphase injectors right there. So they're liquid propane injection. I don't know how I can reset this. I don't know. Keep going back. There we go. But, and then some of these intakes use gaskets. Some of these intakes have O-rings. So I want to say the newer stuff has O-rings, because they're trying to eliminate gaskets. And then since I have it out, and laying here. Those are for a corporate 14 bolt, but that is the valley pan with these two big steel wool breathers for their PCV stuff. I'm trying to think of what else I can go over. I got a part here that I'm thinking about. I'm not sure if this oil pan will fit the this is the PSI half sump pan. I don't have any PSI full sump pans. I think because I haven't bought anything with one on it, I guess. I want to check to see if this will fit the truck frame. I know it won't fit if it's a four-wheel drive. Excuse me, because that's why the oil pan has that weird notch on the one side, because it's for the clear the front diff. But I will test it on this Suburban that's two-wheel drive, and if it fits that, then for me, that's all I care about. But I know a lot of you guys have four-wheel drive, so I'm trying to think of what else. There's another PSI block right there. And that's a propane head. This is a mixer head with no injector holes. I think that's it. I will, if you got any more questions, I'd just post them in the comments. I mean, most of you come from my group, so, but if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I can give you a rundown of that too. I actually have an 8.8 PSI group, but I haven't really advertised it. I just dump pictures and info. And if I see stuff on the internet, I try to post links in there to save it for later. Some stuff has actually vanished. The company that originally designed these intakes was the same one that does the carbon fiber single runner dual plenum intakes. They're the ones that actually performance design or something like that. But they had all kinds of pictures, and then now all the links are dead and all that stuff's gone. But I think that's it for now.